All right. Hey, everybody. This is me. This is Jason Brent again. We're telling your followers that you started a live video. That means you've done this correctly. Hi, I'm filling in for Connor Mead tonight. We're talking to Esteban Touma. There'll be a way less English Midwestern way to pronounce that, the correct pronunciation. Yeah, Esteban is a hilarious dude. He's been at Comedy Central's Up Next and touring around festivals, and he's like a nomad now. Just really one of the most interesting people we've met, and we're just gonna jump right into this right now. Well, there we go. Coming. Connecting. Hey,
Hey, what's up?
hey, what's up with you? I'm my usual self, but there's a clock behind me now that wasn't there
I
Monday.
like it. I like the whole thing. The whole vibe of the clock, the hat. It's cool.
Oh, thanks. This is
Kind of
my
goes
this is my
together.
yeah, it's my new favorite part of my apartment because I started a clutter wall just with
Oh,
stuff
that's
that
really cool, dude.
should
That's
be in
awesome.
frames. Yeah, and some toys. I don't know. It
What do
reminds
you
me of
got
my
in
old
there?
college. I got let's see, got some Todd McFarlane toys. If I can,
Nice.
there's one for Joe Thornton.
That's cool. What's that
Got
girl's poster?
that's Soviet Girls. It's local Detroit. Well, I guess they're partially Brooklyn based now too. They're like kind of like a dreamy pop band. They're really
Oh,
they're
that's sick. That's an awesome art. That's awesome art. That's really cool.
yeah, and most of them are comedy fans, so we love them.
Fun. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a Hot Wheels car. It's a what's the a Mercury Cougar Eliminator. Like
Yeah, yeah.
go after them Cougars. Yeah, there's a Pez dispenser I never opened.
Nice.
Some pictures. Clint Eastwood.
Nice. I love it. Dude, that's a great wall. I miss walls. That's a cool thing to have.
Well, I mean, your trailer technically still has walls, right?
Yeah, but like I don't have any art in it, you know?
Um, uh,
So
yeah,
so
that's
it's
true.
well, we did thought of buying this little piece and frame it and then velcro it and then but it was like I don't wanna super glue like it's too much. Too much. Let's just keep it as is. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a vintage look now.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I know there's a lot of comics that are gonna watch this. Like, I should just sell my stuff and live in a trailer. And like, you got to think about the art, dude.
Yep, yep. I mean, the hardest thing is cheating, is finding a place where you can really take a nice shit. That's the hardest, and I'm sorry for the graphicness of that, but like shitting in buckets, it's part of the whole experience. So I don't know. You gotta be ready for that. Like gotta be ready.
No, no, it's. I don't know if anyone's ever ready to shit in a bucket. The bucket just it's there, and you're like, yeah, we're gonna do this today.
Yeah, it's kind of like you break a wall, you cross that line, and there's no coming back. Like there's a moment where you're like, okay, I have to do this. Like there's no alternative. I have to do it. And then once you break that wall, you're like, okay, now I can do it anywhere. I could dig a little hole. I could find whatever place. I'm good. So you just break it.
You
Anyway,
know,
good
yeah.
start talking about shit.
Oh, yeah. That actually does tie into our first question. Like I know you're kind of a nomad living out of a trailer with your partner. Tell our audience and well, Rafiq right now. Tell the origin behind that decision.
Geez, yeah, it was like a whole like my wife and I were living in Madison for 6 years, and we had like really good jobs. We were like we don't have kids, and we had double income, and I had a pretty very nice job teaching at a in a college over there, and but we were getting like we had to make the decision of okay, this is our lives. Are we buying a house? Are we staying in Madison forever? And we were like, no, I don't want to settle right now. So we were like, okay, let's just save our money and take a sabbatical year where we decide what we want to do. And we were like, okay, it's cool. We're gonna take a year, and then we're gonna come back to the to the workforce. It's not like jobs are going to suddenly disappear. It's not like that's gonna happen. So that was kind of like the decision, and a little bit. Also, we were also very scared of like all these natural. My wife and I are very much into conservation, and we're very good recycle. Like we are extreme recyclers. Okay, like we sort things like it's bad, and so it was part of that kind of like try to learn how to live with the minimum. How much water it takes for you to like do your basic stuff and drink, and how much food you need for this specific time, and like how much energy do you consume, because it's like super limited amount of things you have here. And so you have to, especially when we go, because we've been staying in places kind of isolated, and so that was part of it. That was part of the decision of living on the road. And also, of course, thinking while we travel, I'll just try to make a little bit of money doing stand-up comedy. Like it's a perfect way to get a little bit of extra income to, $3, $5,
Oh,
just to keep
I think
just
I
to
think
keep
I
things going.
yeah, I think my last show I paid someone 7, but also in Canadian because the show was in Windsor.
That's great.
Yeah, definitely.
Did they get
Uh,
a free Labatt with that? Did it come with a free?
they don't like Labatt in Windsor. That's considered American. They
Oh,
they
I
have like
see.
they're pretty big on their breweries over there.
Of
So I
course, okay, I can see
I
that.
I respect it, but I didn't grow up on it.
Dude, $7 for a show. Oh my God, that sounds like a dream. I
Yeah.
that sounds great. I miss getting $1, dude. I mean,
Mhm.
right now I would do a show for nothing. I would pay to do a show. I would pay you $7 to do a show. How about that?
Oh, we can totally work that out. I was planning a house show with somebody. For people in the future watching this, the COVID's still a thing. There's a couple open mics open, but that's really about it in Michigan. And yeah, I tried to arrange a house show, but it was just too early for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I do feel like it's early for me too. Like I would love to do a show, but it feels irresponsible for me. But whatever.
No, true. Have you done
It's
any Zoom shows?
I've done a couple of Zoom shows, and it's just a weird dynamic. You just have to kind of change the whole idea of how to deliver a joke, and I think the hardest part of Zoom shows are like that the pause after you hit a punchline. Because you're always expecting some kind of reaction, even if it's like a negative reaction, or like the little crickets or whatever. You still expect something. And
Yeah.
you do you do it with a Zoom, and it's like you get nothing, and so you have to kind of like just jump through them and keep going. But yeah, I did a couple of Zoom shows. Some of them, or most of them, a lot of them I've done it in Spanish, because there's a growing stand-up scene in Ecuador, and they are doing mics, and it's the first time that I thought about joining something they're doing because it's online. So I was like, okay, I'm going in. So it's been a cool experience to do stand-up comedy in Spanish, which I rarely do. I only do it when I go back home. Um, so that was fun. That was a fun part of it.
Oh, that's actually great. I never thought of that as one of the things that's about me. I took about 14 years of Spanish, and I'm still like
Oh
not
yeah.
even conversational.
It's hard, dude. I mean, I'm a language teacher, so like learning a language, you need to use it every day, or it's gone. So
I'm glad you're a language teacher. The last person I told that, they're like, you should get your money back for those classes.
no, dude. If people knew how difficult it is to study a language, they would never study it. I mean, if they didn't require that in universities and stuff, I would not have a job at all. So yeah, it's hard.
No, no, God, well, it does make you recession proof.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So one of our standard questions here is like, how did you get started in comedy?
well, teaching was a huge part of it. Uh, One part of it was getting into a new city. I just went to Madison for this job, and I didn't have a lot of things to do. I didn't have friends, of course. Like all of my family were back in Ecuador, and so I was brand new in the city. It was just me and my wife. So I was like, I need to get out and do something. And so the first thing I did was to do improv. And as I was doing improv, I was also kind of like working, teaching Spanish. And part of what you have to do as a teacher is you have to keep your students engaged, especially with languages. And so I was always cracking jokes and just being silly. And I had like, it was like basically having an audience every day, you know. So it was like it was part of it. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to do a little bit of stand up, see how that goes. And it started as a hobby, and then it just spiraled into something more. I mean, still a hobby, I guess. But I don't know. It was just a great experience to kind of uh, started in the classroom. That was kind of like an interesting experience to kind of figure out how to manipulate your timing and when to say something. All of those strategies I kind of learned in the classroom before doing stand up. So that was kind of the start. And then I went to an open mic in Madison, Wisconsin at Comedy on State. I don't know if you've heard about Comedy on State.
It's just pretty much every comic says it's their favorite place.
Yes, exactly. It's amazing. It's the best place in the world. It's so fun to be there too. It's like a great hang. And Wednesdays they have the open mic, and it's the best. It's the best open mic in the country probably, because you have a show. You have 120 people that drop by. It's like a full show, and you get to do 3 minutes of comedy, and it's just a blast. It's really, really cool. And the first time I went up there, I thought that was what an open mic was. You know, like I just thought, and people in Madison are very receptive. They laugh a lot. So I just thought, oh, okay, this is stand-up comedy. This is, so we've been like, it was, I don't think I would have done comedy seriously if it wasn't because I started in that place, because it was immediately satisfactory. Like I can't understand people, or it must be so hard for people to start comedy in like New York or in like LA or whatever, because just that jump of like going to a horrible open mic and try your jokes for like 6 people that nobody laughs, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna come back next week. Like I would never be that guy, you know. Like
Oh yeah, I remember my first set. It was, I didn't really understand it was a booked show, but I still prepared for it. I didn't know how many minutes I was doing. I
yeah.
got one laugh turned out to be 10 minutes, and my one laugh was like 2 minutes in, and then silence the rest of the way.
Wait, so your first time was like a paid show?
I found out afterwards there was a booked open mic, but they still
A
treated
book.
it
Okay, yeah.
like a paid show. And yeah, I didn't ask any of those questions like how many minutes, what should I do?
Right, right,
Uh,
right.
no, no, I just did it. And then I was like, that felt terrible. One person was like, I felt like this is like therapy. And I was like, I don't even know if that's a compliment or not. Then I just
But
went home, and that was,
your comedy is very. I can see that your comedy is very intimate too. Like it's very storytelling based, right? Am I
yeah,
wrong in that?
yeah, no, that's definitely true. Because when I was preparing for my first set, I'm starting to write jokes. I'm like, I've spent 2 weeks on this, and I have like a minute. I need to tell stories, or I'm just not going to get you
Yeah,
any time. And I don't mind. I don't mind stories because a lot of my favorite comics, they tell stories to make these great points about the world, and I'd like
I
to be able to
love
get there
that,
some way.
dude. That's the goal, you know. I think for me too. I mean, I I don't do a lot of stories, but it's just because I felt very intimidated trying to write them. But that is for me, and that should be like my writing goal is kind of to try to convey some sense of larger meaning through jokes. So, and you can only do that through storytelling. So, well, not only, but
Yeah,
it's a big part of it.
yeah,
So, was
yeah. To
this
be honest,
Yeah, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
to be honest, I've really only been trying to make points since about last April when I did a trip to Philadelphia, did some comedy, but I also saw Jen Kirkman, and then I just marveled at how she was doing that on stage.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, holy shit, I would need to get to that point.
Right. Yeah, man. It's part of it. That's cool. So was this open? Was this book show you got in Michigan? I assume, right?
Yeah, it's not around anymore, but it was in Madison Heights in the back of this like buffet kind of place.
Mm-hmm.
Just had a room where they probably would have done bingo or bands maybe.
Yeah. That's you know, I love this. I love the Michigan scene because of these booked shows, these booked open mics. Like they're everywhere. Like there's less. It seems like there's less show up, go up mics than there are like book spots, and the whole vibe is different because once you get a little, at least the notion that there's a book, that there's a limit amount of comics there, and that you are, you know, that your name is going to be out. Like, I don't know, the whole vibe of these shows is way different, and I love it. I've been having so much fun doing stand up comedy in Michigan. I got to do it some for an extended period of time in December, and so that's pretty cool. And I'm in Michigan now, so I think if things open up in the next months and stand up comedy is back in like 2 3 months, I might be around in mics and stuff. So that's exciting.
Oh yeah, yeah. I noticed Traverse City's Tuesday mic opened up on Monday nights at New Way and Ferndale are back. That one, that's oh man, it's hard to recommend it, even
Yeah.
though I didn't
Oh
have the
yeah.
worst time when I met. I went Monday and I was mostly freaked out that I was the only one wearing a mask and respecting social
Oh
distancing that
really?
much.
Yeah. I would be stressed out of my mind, dude. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think I
brought
would go just because I would be so stressed.
yeah for any comics going out. I know we're not supposed to be buying from Amazon right now, but I got this for like $40. I'm going to be bringing this with me to every mic I do until probably a year from now, just in case.
Wait, what is?
Just in case. It's a Shure, a Shure microphone. I just like it's
Oh,
probably for karaoke,
yeah,
but it works fine.
makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I got these mics a year or so ago, a couple of years ago, that have like a USB cable connection, and they also have like an input, like a headphone input in them, so you can monitor your own voice, but you can also connect it to the normal mic. So
Ooh,
it's great for. I use it for. I've used it for my computer to record stuff in my computer, but they're also great for open mics. So that's also a good purchase. Recommending products on Amazon when we shouldn't. Look at us.
yeah, yeah. Don't go to Best Buy either.
Yeah.
Just get it. Take care of yourself. Find a third party seller.
Yeah, there you go. Facebook Marketplace. No, no
Yeah, they're.
Facebook.
Oh
Craigslist.
wait,
Do
no.
Craigslist.
Yeah, Craigslist. Craigslist still okay. Go to
The
the
only
community
woke
section
option.
if you, yeah.
Yeah. Looking for a big mic, something like that. I don't know.
That's a little
That
suggestive,
was
but
terrible. Yeah.
uh,
That's
oh,
funny.
so I have during the 3 or however many months of quarantine it's been. How have you been staying creative? I saw you
Uh,
post one video that was like MTV Cribs of your digs
yeah,
there.
yeah. Man, I had so much fun doing that video. It was so fun. I've been trying to do that. I've been trying to do videos. I've posted some videos. I initially at some point I was like, okay, I'm gonna do one video a week from here until
That's what I
we
thought
do
too.
it. And whether I really, it doesn't matter, but at least record it, try to plan it, record it, and try to edit it. And if you don't like it, just don't release it. You'll have next week. So I was like, okay, cool. It lasted it lasted 4 weeks, and then it just I was like, oh fuck this. Okay, I'm done. So I haven't done more. Then I'm trying to write. My wife and I, we had this. So my wife and I, we both really enjoy writing, and we've always talked since we met each other like 10, 11 years ago that we wanted to publish a book and write a novel. And but you know, we've never sat down to do it. So we decided we're going to take an hour a day every day to write the shittiest novel we can. Like, it doesn't, don't think too much about like what kind of novel you're writing, or don't think about like, oh, this is going to be published. It could be rubbish. It could be shit. And it's been so fun. We're in a hiatus right now of that plan, but it's been so fun to write this like trashy, gross novel that nobody will ever read. I already know that. But that's the liberating part of it. Just like being like, I'm just going to write. And it's been fun. It's been really cool. But it's also a little humbling, because I've always thought like, yeah, I could write a novel. Like, if I sit down, I could write a novel. Even a trashy, shitty novel with no consequence that you just want to get out. I can't. It's such a difficult thing to do. So, a fun part of it. And I've been trying. I'm back at trying to write jokes again. I haven't done it in like 2-3 months probably, of like sitting down and being like, okay, what joke what should I write? It's for like a couple of little things I did for like Zoom stuff, but you know, have you been writing jokes? Have you been doing any stand-up joke writing?
Um, I got a new story because I did go to a funeral a couple months ago. Just for it was like my mom already passed away, but her dad finally passed away.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
So yeah, I went to support her sister and her brother because I don't
Yeah.
think I'd actually seen the guy for at least maybe 20 years, maybe more.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
there you go.
so I was like,
That's of course, that's dude. So you've been writing about that?
yeah, it gave me a nice story. I know my mom had told me some things about growing up with the guy, and I noticed his obituary. I found it pretty entertaining. I was
Yeah.
reading it in my own voice. It was like starting like he was 85 years old, and I'm like, and now he's no particular age. And always be remembered as a gardener. I'm like, I know I haven't seen him in 20 years, but I don't remember him gardening at all. Did did they run out of stuff to write about? And then because so many people in my family have died in the last 10 years, the survived by had so many references to late people. I was like, we're just gonna sound like there's only two people left in
Damn.
our family line.
Yeah. What happened with his family? Dude, man. That's funny. That's gonna fit
Yeah,
well with your jokes, man. I love your comedy, by the way. I find it so great, because it's such a hard thing to balance, man. It's so hard to open up
um,
for something. So because I'm thinking specifically about the joke about your mom. I think that I remember listening to, and it's hard. You know, it's hard to open up like that, but still uh, be able to to make people laugh about it. Like, people feel
yeah,
disarmed sometimes when you bring things like that. So it's a hard balance.
yeah. The first show I ever did, the only thing that they laughed at, I was just reciting what my dad said the day my mom passed away, and it just killed everybody with laughter.
Oh my god, dude.
And then, yeah, it's my first show. I get the one laugh I get is on the darkest thing I could possibly say. So I'm like, Dad, this is gonna definitely change the way I think about this for the rest of it. No, but I like that. I like sharing personal things, and I like how I like trying to flip perspective on it.
Yeah,
And
that's cool. That's really cool.
that's the way I think about it. I also think, when I get to a total hour, I'm just I'm gonna think about it less going and laugh for a laugh, and just if the energy is going the way I want it to, that'll be good enough.
Yeah,
So
I mean, with jokes like that, you don't have to worry that much about how often there's a laugh, because it's all a matter of tension release. And so if you build a lot of tension, and
oh yeah,
and you release it, like that lasts longer than just like every time. You know, you also need to have that that space. So that's, you know, that's cool, man. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I did one show once in Lake Orion where I was trying to do that, but I wasn't releasing tension easy enough, and I was just like bringing people up and then
Yeah.
slamming them right down. But I remember one lady in front of me just throwing her arms up, like, "What the fuck is he even doing?
Yeah. I
When is
mean,
this
dude, I
over?"
mean, if the audience is not with you, it must be hard. Like, yeah, I bet you've been through a couple of bumps like that. It
Yeah,
must be
and
hard.
then
It's yeah.
it can be, and I don't know, I get a kick out of it. And then there's one person,
It also
she
takes a
says she's
special kind of person to enjoy that. Like,
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna manipulate these people with my feelings.
it really does. This one comic early on, Jay Bell, who just like he has Comedy Central credits. He said you bring people into your world when it's going well, and you
Yeah,
just suck them in and they feel it.
yeah, yeah, and it's so beautiful, man. It's just that's the coolest feeling in the world when that happens.
What I like about your comedy is number one, when every time I've heard you deliver something, it sounds like you're saying it for the first time.
Wow,
That
that's great.
that consistency and like if everyone could get to that consistency, they'll be like, yeah, I can definitely blame the audience on this one because I said it correctly.
Oh, I love that, man. That's great.
And
It's
it's
yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
and you've also just got some observational stuff that's just no, I can't think of anyone who's noticed that. Like, I know it's in your Comedy Central part, but the bit about never seeing a squirrel for the first time,
Yeah.
no one's ever heard that before.
Yeah. That's cool. I enjoy that joke a lot, but it has become the joke that is like everywhere. And I also made the mistake of creating merch out of that joke. Like I have a little. The joke is if someone's watching, the joke is that I don't I've never seen squirrels, and the first time I saw it, I thought it was a rat going to prom. That's like the shitty version of the joke. But I made stickers of a rat going to prom, and they're really cool. A local artist in Madison did them for me, and they're amazing, really cool. I really like the stickers, but it's a problem because like I printed like 100 of them, and I've sold 10. So it's like now I gotta do the joke every time. You know, every time I want to sell the sticker, I have to do the joke. Um, but yeah, I think a lot of of what I've gotten a little bit lucky with comedy is that I'm it's just this matter of like being the outsider. Uh, like, and I always tell, and whenever I go in Ecuador, I tell a joke about how it always it's I always do worse in Ecuador in Spanish than I do here in the States. Like when I go there, I'm like just middle of the road. I bomb often, and it's because I'm not like I'm just another Ecuadorian. Like I'm just another guy with a beard from Ecuador. Like, and I hear that's like, ooh, this guy has some interesting perspectives. Over there, I'm like, whatever, dude. Who the hell are you? So,
Oh, yeah, Ecuador, haven't met one of them before.
yeah. So, so yeah, I think that's been a really a big part of my comedy development is that that notion of like being a foreigner. Uh, but it's also like I see it a lot with a lot of people, sectionalities, and people of color sometimes too, where like sometimes that's all you talk about, and that's absolutely fine. That's perfectly fine. But also, I felt that sometimes for me, I was doing it because the audience was expecting me to, and that sometimes can be like a little bit dangerous, I think. So, but uh, but yeah, but it's fun being the outsider.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It gives me a good opportunity to write. It's how I start writing every joke. I'm like, okay, the NFL, okay, there it's weird how and what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, football, it's weird. There's this other thing I think.
Yeah.
It's
Whoops.
yeah. Uh, no, that's
Sorry. I just
yeah.
wanted to show you my feet because they're very
It's
sexy, and I thought
hey,
you would
you should
like them.
put those up on your OnlyFans. Make some
Yeah, yeah.
extra money.
It was a tease. It was a tease. Okay.
Oh, starting soon at the end of this interview.
Right.
No, I like it's the outsider perspective. I feel like a lot of comics think they have that, but not that many really do, because a lot of us really do make the same point over and over again about the same thing. That's maybe that's why I talk about funerals so much.
Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, I guess that's what doing stand up is all about, is trying to find what kind of experience do I have in any circumstance, and how can I present to other people what I'm feeling. And you know, I have the foreigner perspective. You have the perspective of the guy who has been in funerals so many times that like has something to say about them. Like,
Yeah, yeah, it helps. I also kind of grew up with no friends, so I feel like I just watched people a lot of the time.
there you go. I see.
Yeah, please, no one go, "Aw, poor you" at that. So, uh, so tell me, do I'm sure you've told this to a lot of people already, but can you talk about how it came to be getting on Comedy Central up next?
Yeah. Um, yeah, I got really lucky, honestly. It's all because of Comedy on State in Madison that you know, I started doing stand up there, and the people in the club kind of gave me uh, some opportunities that I was really really grateful, and I got to host a bunch of shows, and they always booked me as a host in the show and in the club. And as you know, like a lot of big people go by the club, so I've opened, like I've gotten lucky, and I've opened for like huge people, and that's been an awesome experience. Not only because it's cool to meet big comics and kind of talk to them and hang out with them and learn from them, but also because like it's another credit, you know. If you're like, oh yeah, I've opened for this guy, it's like, okay, check. So that's cool. But uh, I first of all, I got someone interested in my comedy that gave me an opportunity with something that was happening on NPR, and then the big thing that happened was I opened for Chris Red um, when he was at the club. This was before he got into SNL. So I didn't even know his comedy. I didn't even know him. And I was kind of asking the booker to put me in another weekend because there was somebody else. I don't remember what other comic was, but I was like, I want to work with this person. And he was like, well, I have this one free. You want to take it? I was like, okay, I'll take it. But I opened for him, and Chris Red's manager was with him, and we just hit it off like backstage in the green room, and we just chatted, and she really liked my comedy and said it was amazing. And then she started to throw my name into things that were happening. So they booked, they invited me to this festival in Chicago, this festival in Second City, where some people saw me, and then that got me into this showcase thing where some people, other people saw me, and then my name got thrown in to audition for the Comedy Central thing, um, and you know, just it's just one of those things where it's like I did 5 minutes well one time, and and then I, you know, I just happened, bounced, yeah, and then they saw me, and I couldn't believe that I got it because uh, I mean, the audition was for me the cool thing, you know. Getting the audition was like, oh, cool, I'm gonna get to audition for this thing. So when they called me, that I kind of I was in shock, especially because like we were starting our trip with Autumn, and we were like we were heading into our camper, and so we had to put the whole show in pause so I can fly to San Francisco to do Up Next, which was a very difficult thing to coordinate. Uh, but but it was really fun. It was an amazing experience, and it's cool also to kind of just have gotten to know a lot of people from the industry and kind of hearing from them and just learning a little bit more about how things are managed, and it's been really cool.
Oh, that's really awesome. I don't have any credits like that, but I know it was exciting around Detroit a couple years ago when we found out Heart of the City was doing one about Detroit,
Yeah,
and just seeing who was auditioning for that, just seeing it just felt like no matter how this goes, there's a lot of guys who've just been around getting some good looks right now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
And
cool.
then the guys that got on it, their careers are going pretty well comedy wise.
Yeah, are they still doing comedy in Detroit?
One of them's in LA, another one he's just all then a couple other ones they're just like always on the road.
Okay.
And the other guy, he's still in Detroit. Boogie. But everything he puts on, it's just packed and just a great
Yeah,
time
yeah, yeah,
just to sit through it if you don't get on. And they're all just so supportive about younger people who didn't get that.
yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Uh, I love scenes from cities like Detroit or um, and that's been the one of the greatest things about living in the camper is getting to see different scenes around the country, like, and you get to these like medium to big size cities like Denver, uh, or St. Louis, or well, Detroit, right? And it's so cool to see a scene happening there because they're big enough cities where like some of the top tier comics can make a living in the city doing comedy, and there's a production of, there's, you know, a lot of mics, there's a lot of shows, uh, and those scenes are like so alive. It's so cool to be part of it because getting to see comedy from getting to travel and do comedy has been so cool because you get to see a little bit of the microcosms of the city in these open mics, like how the comics talk about themselves, how they shit on the city or things like that. Is like it's really awesome to see that.
Oh, yeah. And all the places you've been, does everybody tell the same joke about Indiana being shitty?
Yes, everybody does. Well, you know what? I gotta be honest. I have at least two jokes where I shit on Indiana, and and yeah, they're not received exactly the same everywhere. I mean, I think overall everybody accepts it like like an absolute truth. Like, there's no problem in that. But like, for example, I was in Texas for a longer period at the start of this year because I was volunteering down there. So I got to do some stand up in Houston right before Corona hit, and I used to do a joke about where I shit on Indiana. It didn't work, and I tried it a couple of times, and I changed to Arkansas, and it worked way better. So I think Arkansas is the Indiana of the South. I don't know.
Oh man, then now just cue the more you know going across the stream.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow. Yeah, being in Michigan, I hear Indiana, I hear Ohio, but all of us that do travel a little bit agree that Ohio is one of the most fun places we go.
yeah.
And then I just
I've
heard
heard.
I heard Bert Kreischer on a podcast say rural Ohio, some of his favorite places to be. I'm like, yeah, the people sound terrible, but they are fun comedy audiences.
Sorry, I lost you. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry, I lost you for the last 20 seconds or so. I
Oh,
couldn't hear
yeah,
what you said.
I was just saying I heard Bert Kreischer say like the kind of rural Ohio audiences that we get in this part of Michigan a lot. They're some of the most fun people.
Oh yeah,
Well,
that's cool.
comedy audience wise, at least.
I've heard great things about from people from Michigan about heading to Ohio. But I've never done it yet.
No, my favorite person, probably Mark Phillip at Grumpy Dave's in Bowling Green, but that's just one of those places I can always go and have a great time.
Yeah,
So of course I love it.
there's a guy in is that Toledo or not?
Toledo's Keith
There's one.
Bergman's.
Yes, that's okay. I know that name. I know him. I've heard because I was looking for shows. I mean, my life plan before Corona hit was, as I told you, we started this trip, kind of trying to live outside and being more uh, conservative on what we use and stuff. But this year, we decided with my wife right before Corona hit that like we'll just instead focus very, very hard on comedy and like try to make as much money out of comedy. And so I was really excited about this year. So I started try to book a bunch of shows. And I remember this guy's name because I was going to be touring Ohio. Actually, right now I should be around
Oh,
Ohio right now. Yeah, but oh no, that's a lie. I was actually scheduled to feature at the Independent. I think tomorrow.
oh
So
yeah, yeah, that's true.
yep, I was gonna feature there. It was gonna be fun, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And one of the other venues I work at, we were going to try a festival this weekend too, but that's been out the window for a long time.
Yeah. Are you in the Detroit shipping? No, you're not in that in 313 comedy?
No, I'm not on that team.
Okay. I see. Okay.
No, Johanna and EJ from the
Right.
Independent are,
Right. Right.
and good
Yeah.
old Cal Forsyth is pretty much in charge.
Who?
Good old Cal Forsyth, Brett
Oh
Mercer,
yeah.
Brett Hayden, all
Yeah.
all the lovely people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So,
That's cool.
I've got a couple more questions for you. The first
Cool.
one is
Shoot.
it's one of Johanna's favorites. I know we already said Comedy on State in Madison is the best in the country, but what are some of your other favorite venues as you've been traveling?
Should I say the Independent? Is
Oh,
that like I
definitely
have
you
to
should.
say it? I'm kidding. No,
Uh,
I actually, dude, I love doing the Independent because it was like I've been headlining bar shows all over the country, and I gotten a couple of opportunities to like headline. Uh, but I think you guys were the first that kind of took, or one of the first that that gave me the chance to headline and officially in a club, let's say, and I loved it. It's such a cool room. I love the Independent. It was so fun. I loved it. I am very into brewery shows. Any show that is in a brewery and there's so many with a little tank. Oh my
oh
god,
yeah.
dude! I'm dying. I always enjoy them because there's always like I love breweries in general, so I love trying the beer and stuff. And then like I don't know, people are generally in a brewery are usually up for a good time, so it's always fun. I did a show in Denver in a brewery called Flight Co. Brewery. That was incredible. That was really, really, really cool. That I enjoyed very much. Other than that, as far as clubs go, I am particular to certain spots in Chicago that are amazing. The Hideout in Chicago is such a cool, cool room, and just it's just so cool, and great room, great people there. Um, the oh my god, what's that? I was recently in Houston too, and did comedy in the Secret Group. Have you heard about the Secret Group in Houston?
Oh yeah, I've heard nothing but great things.
It's the most amazing place on earth. I never mind what I said about comedy on stage. I mean, this place is like it's run by the scene basically. It's like it's incredible and it's really cool. It's a really cool space to perform. So, uh, yeah, check out the Secret Group if you're listening because it's a cool place.
Oh yeah, definitely. So our wrap up question, it's a good, nice, deep existential one. If you could go back in time, what advice would you give a young you that you probably also would give to a younger comic?
Oh, look at that. That's deep. That's a good question. Um, I think I think what I would say is like try to have fun on stage. Uh, I think a lot of what happens when you start comedy, and in general in the world of comedy, is like there's this constant discourse about how you're not good enough. How it's always like you have up 3 times, 4 times, 5 times a week. You have to do these things. If you're not doing crowd work, you're not learning. Like
Right.
there's a lot of like a position of like I am not in the best spot. I have to get better in stand up. It's like very, and I don't like that at all because I think that stand up is a very meditative thing. Like the moment you work well as a comic is the moment you connect with the people on stage. Like when you are present in that moment doing stand up, that's when you are like doing the best you can do. So I don't like that mentality. And when I started, I was like, okay, I need to be more disciplined. I need to write every day. And it's like, no, I don't really need to. Like, I just do whatever you enjoy because write because it's enjoyable writing. Like, go to a mic because going to a mic is like a cool experience. Even though we love to shit on mics and mics are truly like sometimes they're it's like, what the fuck? But they're so fun. Like, I love going to mics. Like, I love seeing, like, the process of, like, a comic trying to figure out things, saying horrible shit, and then you go up and you say some horrible shit sometimes, and it doesn't work.
Yeah. Another blip. Connection. Come on. Come on. Oh, oh, technical difficulties. See. Oh, well, no, no. Yep. Be. Well, little technical difficulties. Fuck, my phone died. Oh, shit. Okay, yeah, we'll jump right back on in a second, folks. That's probably not what time it is. That clock hasn't moved. Just give us 1 second. We'll be back with an answer to our deep existential question.